1.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to New York State Bridge Authority meeting, Thursday, November 16, 2017. I'd like, before we start, to introduce our board. On my left, going around the table, Commissioner Rod Dressel, Executive Director Tara Sullivan, Commissioner Diane Drobowski, Commissioner Roger Higgins, Commissioner Harry Stanton, our counsel, Carl Whitback, and Executive Director Joseph Ruggiero, and sitting on the sides are all our department heads and personnel of New York State Bridge Authority. Saying all that, I'd like to approve the minutes of the October 19, 2017 meeting.
So, second.
A second, any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
New business, administration and human resources, we don't have any.
We're good.
Engineering, Mr. Wright,
Good afternoon.
how are you?
Very good. Yourself?
Good.
First up, we have a change order to Majeski and Masters task for Mid-Hudson Bridge Anchorage architectural design development. In 2016, we had a design assignment given to Majeski and Masters to design the development of a museum in the Mid-Hudson Bridge Anchorage. As the project has progressed, we've asked M&M to perform additional engineering services, such as attending meetings and collaborating with museum specialists and preparing existing condition documents. We'd like to put in for a change order of $12,191 to the existing $14,990 contract that we had originally given to Majeski and Masters.
So, second, please.
Second.
Questions?
On Exhibit B, it says a total $86.75, but nothing is detailed out there.
$86.75 is the
I mean, they just show the total there. Is that okay?
yeah, that's the architect's fee, and if you look,
Oh, okay, so there's none of that other, there's
Right,
no
that-
cost for the other things. Okay.
right, there is no
All right,
cost
got
for
it.
anything else.
Okay, I'm good.
Any other questions? If not, roll call, all in favor say aye.
All right.
I'm abstaining on this one.
Okay. Is there a reason?
We can discuss it later.
You don't state it, Carl? No, okay, sorry. All right, item B?
The next item is, we had a small typographical error last month. You had approved $54,692 for cabling. It was not to annex their cabling, it was for Adirondack cabling and security. So we'd like to correct that.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we go to Bacon Bridge.
Right, we put out a bid for the I-84 over 9W bridge rehab. We advertised in the contract reporter. We accepted bids on November 2nd. 41 contractors picked up the proposal package. We received only one bid from Kubricki Construction Corp. Unfortunately, the bid was more than 30% over the engineer's estimate. We're currently working with Majeski and Masters. We're revising the plans. I've talked to all the plan holders from the past. There was a few people were concerned about the schedule of the project. It's a 2-year job, but with no work in the winter time. There was a lot of highway construction work, removing the entire concrete slabs that were there and then replacing them, in kind. We're going to now do milling and filling 4 inches to help alleviate that from being a scheduling concern. Some of the contractors just wasn't fitting in with their schedules. They were either full or they were bidding a lot of work and they couldn't necessarily bid any more work at the time. So by rebidding, and we're going to purchase the seismic bearings ahead of time. They're a long lead item. We want to make sure that they're available when we need them. So we will go out to bid and purchase them before the contractor does. It'll save us several months in the scheduling process. So we were out to bid for 6 weeks. I've got some favorable talk back from the contractors that they're gonna bid it again, or bid it for the first time if we rebid. So we're looking to rebid the beginning of December, come back to the board in January, and it should not affect our overall schedule for that project.
Jeff, I have a question. By converting the method of construction to a milling and filling, is that going to reduce the cost of the project at all?
It potentially will reduce the cost of the project also, yes.
So we'll get a new budget estimate
We'll have a
from
new
engineering?
engineer's estimate, correct.
But, dealing with that traffic, when they get into that job, when does that ever quiet there? I mean,
It doesn't.
Sure.
I mean, there's going to be some night work is part of the project
Gotta
too,
be,
to
gotta be.
take care of that. Any work on 9W underneath particularly is going to be night work. We will have permanent lane closures on 84, so the contractor will be working behind barriers with traffic going, next to him.
Better him than me.
But just for reference, that bid number is just within $100,000 of the original cost of the south span of the Newbury Beacon Bridge.
So you should have did that back then.
Pocket change, right, Harry? Isn't it sad when you think about it, though?
Yeah.
One overpassing versus...
No, what's sad is that A, that I remember that, and B, I remember when it happened.
Jeff, just
Well, that's a good thing.
theoretically,
That's a good thing.
40 out of 41 didn't even want to bother.
Well, when we say 41 people picked up the plans, a lot of those are subcontractors. It might be just a railing guy, or it might be just a paving guy. Prime contractors, there were at least maybe a dozen or more,
So we go through this process, and what happens if there still is no interest? Where does that leave us?
Well, we'll have to.
How good are you at a jackhammer?
We cross that
Just not getting done there.
Yeah, right.
Replace that bridge when you come to
cross that bridge when you come.
So Jeff, you said it's a 2-year project the way it is right now. I mean, by doing what we're going to do here. what
It'll
do you
still be a
think?
2-year project.
Still.
This has got to be a contractor
It-
too.
it
because
has
you don't
to be
want
done- it
someone
has to be
in the
done-
middle of the deal banking out
Right.
and saying, that's too much, because
Right.
my concern would be, it's going to be a tough job.
No, you're doing exactly the right thing.
I mean, there's plenty of competent bidders that picked up the plans. There's plenty of guys that I've talked to that will be bidding it around. The Kiska that did the South Span project, they didn't bid because they didn't see the advertisement till about a week before it was due, so they couldn't get a bid in. Not our fault for them not seeing the bid, although coming around this, so I've already told them, look, we're gonna be rebidding this in the beginning of December, be looking for this,
Time of year has an impact too.
Well, and they are busy doing a lot of bids, but it's a good time to be bidding work
That's
because they're
exactly right.
setting up their jobs for next year, so we
Mhm.
want to get in this process.
The guys who haven't got work will be hungry, so.
All right, what's our pleasure here?
So you have to move the
Wanna
resolution
move?
into
We have a motion to reject.
Or
Well, the
we're going to approve
accept-
this? or
approve the resolution,
Right.
which does
The
the
rebid.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Jobs in progress, the Rip Van Winkle sidewalk and railing project, all the sidewalks and railings and viewpoints are installed. We're just doing some final welding and punch work up there. Down at the Mid-Hudson Bridge, the sidewalk lighting project is complete on the sidewalk. We're continuing to work with the steel repair contract on the bridge. And down at Newburgh, we're working on the catwalk lowering project. That's going to be a 2-year job, so that finishes up the end of next year. The painting project is complete down there. And also here at Mid-Hudson, we finished the roofing project also.
Move to accept the jobs and progress report.
Second, please.
Second.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
Mr. Mr. Bryan, how are you?
Good afternoon, good yourself?
Good.
Okay, first up is the monthly investment report. There were 9 investments for the month, all of a routine nature. They're all reflected in the investment inventory report. To note, the maintenance reserve fund currently sits at a balance of $49.8 million. Interest yield, approximate yield for the month, inched up a little bit to 1.09.
Move it, please.
Move to accept the investment report.
Second.
No questions, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next.
Okay, next is the annual billing from the New York State Employees Retirement System. It comes in at 1.520 for the year, a 5.2% increase, or 75,766, based on a comment you had prior to the board meeting. I did pull the prior year. While we did go down year over year in a base salary versus rates, where we went up was in prior year adjustments coming from the pension system. Last year we had a reduction of approximately 90,000 in adjustments for the prior year, and this year it was actually an increment of 30. Okay, so as the retirement system goes and corrects for their estimates going into the coming year, such as people stay on longer or people retire, yes, we took a hit there, but that really drives the increase overall. Again, it's still all salary and rates.
So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next up, based on requirements of public authorities law, the committees reviewed the budget and financial plan for 2018 through 2021. The documents provided before you were circulated and left available for public inspection for the required 30 days. The authority has received no comments to date from regarding our budget and financial plan, and it received recommendation from the committees for the board to review.
So make a motion to
So moved it.
Second. Any questions? If not, I'll just bring it up again. There was a gentleman by the name of Kenny Herman who actually took our financials and evaluated them. He's a very knowledgeable individual. He used to live in Marlboro, now he lives in Rhinebeck. He's on the Greenway. He was the treasurer of the Greenway, involved in many local service organizations, worked on Wall Street. And his comment to me after he reviewed everything was that the New York State Bridge Authority is very well run, very well maintained financially. So I guess this all demonstrates that.
Well, we already knew that, right?
I know that, but I just want to make a statement.
And you said it's because of the chairman.
No, not the chairman, because of the individuals that work on the Bridge Authority. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
It's nice not to have competition.
Nobody wanted a job.
Last up is the quarterly operations report. No actions required by the board. This is typically provided to the board just to give you an update. So through the 9 months ending September, traffic was up very slightly, and unfortunately revenue was down, attributable to the fact that passenger traffic has slightly increased while commercial traffic is down 3.59%, which is why you have to flip between higher traffic, lower revenue. Operating expenses, there's a bit of a one-time event in there, in that last year we had booked $2.2 million associated with pension, and with the changes to GASB 68, while we're currently showing a value that we're lower year over year, if you adjust for that one-time pension expense, we're actually higher by about $1.2 million. With that said, what's driving that? It's $100,000 from salaries. The largest single amount is health insurance of $400,000. Workers' comp, we had some higher rates for the prior year, $100,000 there, $100,000 related to some normal winter weather. If you remember, in 2017, the winter, actually, we had snow, whereas in 2016 we didn't. And equipment, we procured some security equipment and replaced a bunch of trucks, which increased $100,000 there as well. So it's been a bit of a more challenging year on the cost side, while revenue has been, materially flat. So operating expenses, which were budgeted at 34.4, and includes the $2.5 million accrual for post-employment benefits and $1.6 million for depreciation on walkway over the Hudson, which is booked in December. As of September 30th, we spent $18.1 million. The authority's 5-year capital program, originally we had budgeted $35.2, and as of September, we've spent it $11.6.
Any questions? Brian, thank you very much.
Thank you.
No information technology, no reports, no bridge operations, reports to the board by the executive director.
You have my monthly expense report, so that's no expenses. You have the October 2017 traffic and revenue analysis report, as well as the October 2017 Easy Pass sales analysis report. Easy Pass sales are continuing to go through the roof with the campaign going on statewide. And then Tara has historic bridges of the Hudson Valley report.
Thank you.
Would
Thank
you like to give that? Yes, thank
You bet. Just a couple of special notes this month. This monthly report's now going to include our new savings account, which is exclusively for donations. So you'll be able to see how that increases. And I just wanted to note details in Kathy's curriculum report. I asked her to really draw out the details and everything she's doing for developing both STEM and STEAM curriculums for the K through 12 throughout the Hudson Valley. She's made a lot of important developments and been teaching the master teachers. The master teachers of New York State are designated by the governor's office as teachers who have taken a tremendous amount of extra training, and Kathy has developed one of those extra training curriculums for them, so they've been visiting the Bear Mountain Bridge Museum and taking that training with her. Just wanted to, show you that she is hard at work doing incredible curriculum development for the schools. And that's all I've got for you.
Thank you, Tara. Any questions for Tara? That's good. Nope. Next, Thomas?
Yep. So what we have is a renewal of the license agreement with Travelers Marketing. The agreement with Travelers Marketing to provide comprehensive services to the Bridge Authority for advertising will expire on January 31st, 2018. The agreement provides the option for two-year renewals under the terms of the agreement. The initial term of the agreement was dated from January 24th, 2011 to January 31st, 2016. The agreement was renewed from January 31st, 2016 until January 2018. Travelers Marketing has worked with the authority for the last 7 years and has generated more than $1,062,000 in revenue, with annual net revenue projected at approximately $150,000 per year. And we recommend that we extend for the second 2-year period that we have as part of the agreement.
Tom, just, I'm sorry, refresh my memory. What do they do
I'll
for
report.
us?
Harry,
Oh,
can
I'm
you just
sorry.
move it?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, Harry, go on.
Okay. So Travelers Marketing is the consulting company that we have contracted with. They run our advertising program. So the
They
bill
spell
goes-
advertising space for us. They sell
Exactly.
space for us. Gotcha.
Yep, exactly.
And we initially had gone through an RFP process initially when we got them. and
Correct.
Gives us a third-party arm's length transaction away from all that.
Exactly.
Any other questions? If not, roll call. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Thank you, Thomas. Any presentations to the
So
board?
when I see those ugly things, I
Yeah,
pick that right.
Old business? Attorney-client privilege?
Closing, we're not going to have any other action. Let's get a briefing from security.
So we're going to go into attorney-client, but before we do that, we'll just have a motion to adjourn.
To adjourn.
A second, please.
Second.
Our next meeting is December 21st at 3 o'clock. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy.